If one sentence could shift how someone feels around you, not magically, not manipulatively, but deeply, would you dare to say it? Because attraction doesn't start with looks or lines, it starts with how safe, seen, and alive. Someone feels in your presence. Most people think attraction is something you chase. You impress, you perform, you try to be interesting enough so the other person leans in. That belief quietly destroys connection before it ever has a chance to form. Here's the truth most people never hear. Attraction is not created by saying the right thing. It's created when you stop trying to extract validation and start offering emotional clarity. The reason so many conversations die is not because you said too little, but because you were secretly asking for approval. Humans can feel that hunger instantly. It creates pressure. Pressure kills desire. Their asterisk is something you can say that changes the emotional temperature of a moment, but it only works when it comes from a grounded place. The sentence is simple, almost unimpressive on the surface, yet psychologically powerful when spoken with calm certainty. I enjoy talking to you. No pressure, just wanted you to know that. Read that again slowly. This works because it does three rare things at once. First, it expresses interest without attachment. You're not asking for anything back. You're not pushing for a response. That instantly lowers defensiveness. Second, it creates emotional safety. By removing pressure, you signal maturity and self-trust. Third, and this is critical, it positions you as someone who chooses, not someone who waits to be chosen. Attraction grows where freedom exists. Most people either hide interest out of fear or overshare it out of insecurity. Both feel unstable. This sentence sits in the middle. It says, I see you, I'm present, and I'm okay either way. That emotional neutrality is magnetic because it's rare. It tells the other person, you don't have to perform for me. Psychologically, this triggers what's called asterisk approach. Curiosity, asterisk. When someone feels no demand placed on them, their mind naturally leans forward. They start wondering about you asterisk. Not because you impressed them, but because you didn't need to. This is not a trick, it's alignment. For men, this dismantles the outdated idea that you must lead with dominance or cleverness. True strength is emotional regulation. For women, this cuts through the noise of performative charm and creates space for genuine connection. For anyone, at any age, this works because it honors autonomy, the most attractive quality across cultures and generations. Notice what this sentence does. Asterisk, not asterisk do. It doesn't promise outcomes. It doesn't imply entitlement. It doesn't manipulate emotion. That's why it's safe, respectful, and powerful. Attraction that begins without pressure has room to grow without resentment. But here's the part no one tells you. Words only land when your nervous system matches them. If you say this hoping it will work, it won't. If you say it because it's true, and you're okay with any response, it changes everything. People don't fall for sentences. They respond to emotional states. So before you ever say this out loud, you have to say something silently to yourself. I'm enough, even if this moment goes nowhere. That inner posture is the real signal. The words are just the delivery system. And once you understand that, attraction stops being something you chase and starts being something you allow. Once you stop chasing outcomes, something subtle but powerful begins to happen. People start revealing themselves to you, not because you pulled a lever, but because your presence stopped feeling like a test they had to pass. This is where attraction quietly deepens after the first emotional shift, when curiosity turns into comfort, and comfort turns into desire. Here's what most people miss. Attraction isn't built in loud moments. It's built in the pauses, in the silence after you've said something honest and didn't rush to fill the space. When you allow a moment to breathe, you communicate confidence without saying a word. The nervous system of the other person reads that as safety. Safety is not boring. Safety is what allows excitement to exist without fear. Think about the people you felt most drawn to in your life. They weren't trying to convince you. They weren't proving themselves. They were calm in who they were. Their interest felt like an invitation, not a demand. That's the emotional signature you're learning to create. When you say, I enjoy talking to you, no pressure, just wanted you to know that. And then you mean it something important happens psychologically. You hand the other person ownership of the moment. Humans are wired to value what they choose freely. The moment someone feels they are choosing to engage with you, not being nudged, persuaded, or cornered, their emotional investment increases. This is why over-texting, over-explaining, and over-performing backfire. Each extra message, meant to secure interest, actually signals doubt. Doubt communicates instability. Instability creates tension, and not the good kind. Desire needs grounded energy to attach to. There's also something else happening beneath the surface. When you remove pressure, you remove fear of loss. And when fear of loss disappears, curiosity takes its place. Curiosity is the doorway to attraction. The mind starts asking questions. Why is this person so comfortable? Why don't they need anything from me? What do they know that I don't? That's when your presence becomes intriguing. This doesn't mean being distant or cold. It means being warm without being needy, interested without being invested too soon, clear without being controlling. That balance is rare because it requires self-trust, and self-trust is felt instantly, even by strangers. For many people, especially those who've been hurt before, pressure feels like danger. Your calm becomes disarming. Your steadiness becomes memorable. You stand out, not by intensity, but by emotional precision. And here's the part that changes everything. When you stop trying to win someone, you start evaluating whether they align with you. That internal shift alters your tone, your posture, your timing. You listen differently. You respond instead of react. You become selective. Selection is attractive because it implies value. Attraction grows strongest when both people feel free to walk away and choose to stay. So if the conversation continues, let it unfold naturally. Ask questions you genuinely care about. Share without oversharing. Let moments end before they exhaust themselves. Leave emotional space behind you. People are drawn back to spaces where they felt calm, respected, and seen. This is not about control. It's about congruence. When your words, energy, and intentions line up, attraction doesn't need force. It recognizes itself. And once you experience that shift, even once, you'll never go back to chasing attention again. There's a moment most people mishandle. The moment when interest is mutual but unspoken. This is where anxiety creeps in and ruins the tone. One person starts thinking, I need to do something before this fades. That thought alone changes everything. Energy tightens, words speed up, presence collapses into performance. Attraction doesn't disappear suddenly, it leaks out through urgency. The way you prevent that isn't by escalating faster. It's by slowing down and staying centered. When someone feels comfortable with you, their guard lowers. That's not your cue to push. It's your cue to stay steady. Humans are drawn to those who can hold connection without rushing to define it. That patience signals emotional leadership, not dominance, leadership. The kind that says, I trust the process because I trust myself. This is where the deeper psychology comes in. Desire is not linear. It expands and contracts like breath. If you try to trap it, it suffocates. If you allow it to move, it grows. The person who understands this becomes unforgettable, not because they said something clever, but because they didn't panic when the moment mattered. There's another sentence that carries this same energy, especially when the connection has already warmed. It's quiet, respectful, and grounding. Let's just enjoy this moment. We don't need to rush it. This works because it aligns both nervous systems. It releases the unspoken pressure both people feel but rarely name. By acknowledging it calmly, you dissolve it. That's emotional intelligence in action. Many people think attraction is about creating tension. In reality, it's about managing it. Too little and things feel flat. Too much and things feel unsafe. The sweet spot is where anticipation exists without anxiety. That's where chemistry lives. When you embody this, people feel more like themselves around you, and the human mind associates that feeling with you. Not with the place, not with the conversation, with you. That's how emotional bonding begins. This applies to first dates, long-term relationships, and everything in between. The need to rush, to define, to label, To secure usually comes from fear of abandonment. When you remove that fear from your own system, you stop transmitting it to others. They relax, they open, they stay longer. And here's a hard truth most people avoid. If someone pulls away when you stop pushing, they were never aligned to begin with. Your calm didn't lose them, it revealed the truth. That's a gift, not a failure. Attraction that requires pressure is not attraction. It's negotiation. The people meant for you respond to clarity, not control. They lean in when you create space, not when you fill it. They feel drawn to your steadiness because it offers something rare in a world full of emotional noise. So hold eye contact a second longer. Let silences exist. End conversations while the energy is still warm. Walk away without resentment. These small acts communicate abundance. Abundance is attractive because it implies choice. When you stop fearing the loss of a moment, moments start choosing you. And the most powerful thing you can offer another human being is not excitement, it's emotional permission to be at ease. That's when attraction stops being fragile and starts becoming real. Most people never realize this, but the deepest attraction isn't sparked in the moment you speak. It's ignited in the moment after, when you don't chase the reaction, when you walk away grounded, when your mood doesn't depend on what the other person does next. You leave behind something powerful, emotional resonance. The mind keeps replaying the feeling of being around you, not because you demanded attention, but because you didn't need it. This is where real influence lives. When someone feels free with you, their imagination activates. They start filling in the space you left behind. That space is not emptiness, it's invitation. Humans bond not through constant stimulation, but through meaningful gaps that allow reflection. This is why the calm, self-directed person often feels more attractive over time than the flashy one who burns bright and fades fast. At this stage, your role is simple but rare. Remain consistent with who you were when attraction first appeared. No sudden overinvestment, no emotional withdrawal as a test, no pretending to be indifferent. Authentic steadiness is the signal. It tells the other person, what you felt before was real. This wasn't an act. Psychologically, this creates trust. Trust deepens attraction far more than novelty ever could. Many people sabotage this phase by trying to lock it in. They start seeking reassurance, clarity, labels, or constant contact. What they're really seeking is relief from uncertainty. But uncertainty is not the enemy of attraction. Fear is. When you're at peace with uncertainty, it stops being threatening. It becomes exciting instead. This doesn't mean tolerating disrespect or mixed signals. It means recognizing the difference between patience and self-betrayal. You still hold boundaries. You still choose yourself. You simply stop trying to control outcomes you don't own. And here's the final truth most people never hear. The sentence that creates attraction is never more powerful than the life that backs it up. Your calm comes from purpose. Your confidence comes from direction. Your presence comes from knowing that connection is a bonus, not a requirement. When someone senses that your happiness is self-generated, they feel drawn, not because they're needed, but because they're invited. Invitation is intoxicating. It says, join me if you want. I'm good either way. That energy transcends age, culture, and gender. It's felt in the voice, the timing, the restraint. It's why some people leave a lasting impression without trying. So the next time you're in a moment where attraction could grow, remember this. Say less, mean more. Offer clarity without attachment, interest without pressure, presence without pursuit. Now here's my question for you, and answer honestly in the comments. Have you ever felt more attracted to someone the moment they stopped trying to impress you? If this message gave you clarity, hit like so more people can hear it. Subscribe for deeper insights into psychology and relationships. And share this with a friend who needs to stop chasing and start attracting.